Hello friends, today we will be discussing a new topic that is Borrelia. Borrelia. Okay. So we have a new bacteria that is Borrelia. Guys, Borrelia, what I remember, Borrelia, what we say is Borrelia is this. Borrelia is B for Borrelia, B for bulk. It's a bulky guy. If you yesterday have seen, they had one was having this spiral motility. We used to say this is spirogate, this sorry, all are spirogates, but this is a spiral. Next we saw hooked people, we saw question mark people. Now I am telling you mote people, fatty people again, fatty people. So if I say fatty people, you should say Borrelia. This is how I remember microbiology. If you don't remember like this, then it will be difficult for you to learn microbiology. Okay, so this is fatty. This is fatty. So fatty is Borrelia. Now Borrelia is a thick spirochete. If they ask you what is thick spirochete, Borrelia. And it is that Borrelia which is causing the disease that is called relapsing fever. It causes a disease called relapsing fever. It is the agent which causes Lyme's disease. Are we clear? So we have a special thing about this spirochete, that is it is having a special motility that is called lashing motility. Lashing motility. Lashing motility. Okay, it is having a lashing motility. Do you know lashing? I know, I hope you know lashing, isn't it? Lashing motility. Uh, it You have to remember at least three species. Which you have to remember three species about Borrelia. Okay, let me write those. We have Borrelia. Which color to take? So we have Borrelia burgdorferi. Borrelia burgdorferi. Burgdorferi. Borrelia recurrentis. Borrelia recurrentis. Borrelia vincenti. By the way, I want to tell to the second year people that we have finished at least 70%. Okay, I was right now looking at the syllabus, so we have finished the 70% of your ANS. So don't worry, be happy. Okay, it will take us 2-3 lectures more. Okay, the second year people. Hey guys, so we are progressing day by day. Okay, we are seeing progress. We are seeing progress day by day. So one day, by step, we will reach towards what? Towards the mountain. Okay. So Borrelia burgdorferi, Borrelia recurrentis, Borrelia vincenti. Borrelia vincenti. Now I want to tell some specific points about them. I don't want you to become microbiologist in first year. I want you to understand some pathophysiological basis of microbiology. Okay. See, Borrelia, I take first Borrelia burgdorferi. I will write B only. Okay, not to waste time writing and writing and writing because you have videos also. So Borrelia burgdorferi. Borrelia burgdorferi is an agent which is causing a disease that is called Lyme disease. It causes a disease that is called Lyme disease. Called Lyme disease. What happens that there is a vector who causes this, the agent is this, but who transmits it? Who transmits this is the agent. This is the agent. Now who is the transmission? Transmission happens by a vector. Transmission happens by a vector. The vector is called what? The vector is called, that was called Ixodes resinus. That was called Ixodes resinus. So vector was Ixodes resinus. Ixodes resinus. This is called a tick bond. Tick tick. So it's a tick bond transmission. So tick is a vector. If you don't remember the vector, no problem, but at least know that it's a tick. Okay. Now what happens? This disease, when this tick bites, what happens? Now this tick has come. Okay, this tick has come. This came on your skin. So what will happen once this bites? It gives you this type of lesion. This type of lesion is seen. This is called target rash. Target rash is seen, or you also call it annular rash, or you also call it bullseye. Okay, so bullseye rash. Fine. And this annular region is the stage 1 of the disease. This Lyme disease is having stages. Lyme disease has stages. It has stage 1, stage 2. This stage 1 is here. This is stage 1. Okay. This is stage 1. What about stage? So what is this called? This stage 1 is called erythema migrans. So stage 1 is called erythema migrans. Erythema migrans. These annular regions and everything, this is collectively called erythema migrans. Now, when you go into the stage 2 of the disease of Lyme stage 2, there is disseminated infection. You have disseminated. That is, now the infection has reached everywhere. Disseminated infection. So disseminates to skin, disseminates to brain, disseminates to what else I can say? Joints. Disseminates to your hand skin, okay, your peripheral structures. If it spreads to brain, if CNS gets involved, we call it neuroborreliosis. Neuroborreliosis. We call it neuroborreliosis. Fine. We call it neuroborreliosis. Okay. So what is neuroborreliosis? What does it show in the neuroborreliosis? I have Bell's palsy. I have Bell's palsy. Okay. So what happens? Bell's palsy. What is Bell's palsy? Bell's palsy is cranial nerve 7 paralysis. Cranial nerve 7 paralysis. Cranial nerve 7 paralysis. So neuroborreliosis, we have cranial nerve 7 paralysis. Okay. Facial nerve. Facial nerve paralysis. Fine. Have we understood what we are reading? Okay, I want to give you again a review. We are reading what? Borrelia burgdorferi, Borrelia recurrens, Borrelia vincenti. Okay, we have done this. Okay, so we have Borrelia burgdorferi. What? Borrelia burgdorferi. What? It's Lyme disease. What? Lyme disease. Vector is tick. Vector is tick. Rashes, target rashes, annular rashes, annular. Fine. Then we said erythema migrans stage 1. So we have 2 stages. Stages of Lyme disease, we have 1 and 2. This is disseminated infection. Okay, so when it disseminates, it reaches to skin, to brain, to joints, to peripheral structures, we can make it. Okay, so brain, we have neuroborreliosis, causes Bell's palsy, cranial nerve 7 paralysis, facial nerve paralysis. Fine. Now I take joints. If it infects the joints, we say it causes arthritis. It causes arthritis. Okay. we know what will happen when the disease is manifesting. In the brain it can also cause meningitis. Also that is the same meningitis. Okay, don't get confused. Meningitis. Okay, meningitis, encephalitis, lymphocytic meningoradiculitis. Okay, let me write all those. Radiculo. What else can happen? We can have lymphocytic meningo lymphocytic meningo radiculitis. Lymphocytic meningoradiculitis. Now I want to tell you something about this. I'm coming up with a syndrome that is called Banworth syndrome. Okay, by the way, I remember this. If the stage 2 is causing meningitis, okay, meningitis plus meningoencephalitis, lymphocytic meningo, if it is causing meningitis, again I will say, if it is causing meningitis, if it is causing encephalitis, and if it is causing meningoradiculitis, then we say it is which syndrome? Which syndrome it is? It's called Banworth syndrome. This Banworth syndrome is seen in Europe mostly. Okay, in cases of Europe or even Asia. Okay, so they have been seen in these. So arthritis we have in joints, and also it causes in the skin, it causes a type of a late manifestation of this disease. It's type of specific dermatitis that is called acrodermatitis chronicum atropicans. So acrodermatitis chronicum atropicans. Okay, acrodermatitis chronicum atropicans. This is the basically a late manifestation. So Banworth syndrome will be meningoradiculitis. Okay, if you have to remember one thing, just remember meningoradiculitis will be mostly with Banworth syndrome. Okay, is it clear? So what is the lab diagnosis? What is the selective media you are using for Borrelia in general? In Borrelia, what we are using the selective media for Borrelia? We are using selective media is, what is the selective media for Borrelia? It is Kali B medium. Kali B medium. Okay, Kali B medium. Fine. I hope there is no spelling now. I have been using this whiteboard now so that you can easily see the spellings and all. Sometimes you feel difficulty. Okay. Yeah, mostly using selective media for Borrelia. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Now I take your attention towards the drug of choice for this treatment. What will you treat this? This is the drug of choice for Borrelia burgdorferi. Drug of choice is doxycycline. Drug of choice is, I'm not going into the disease. No, I am here restricted by the microbiology. Okay. So doxycycline. Okay. Let us take the next one. Borrelia recurrentis. Borrelia recurrentis. Borrelia recurrentis, recurrences means it's causing something. What is it causing? It causes relapsing fever. It causes relapsing fever. Relapsing fever. Why it's called relapsing fever? Because you have a period of fever that is a febrile period, and then you have an afebrile period. You have a febrile period, then you have an afebrile period. So febrile period followed by afebrile period. That's why we call it relapsing. Okay, that's why we call it relapsing. So Borrelia recurrentis, we have febrile and afebrile. So media, I have shown you in big zoom. I hope you are not listening to the lecture. Okay. So you should focus here, not there. Okay. So this is febrile and afebrile. Febrile and afebrile. Relapsing condition. Why we have relapsing? Because it is showing some antigenic variations. Relapsing because of antigenic variation. Antigenic variation. Okay. Antigenic variation. Is it clear? Now what will happen? The fever will remain, febrile period will remain for approximately 3 to 5 days, and then it will remain absent for approximately 9 days, 7 to 9 days, and again you will have those periods of rigor, periods of headache, periods of myalgia. Myalgia means muscle pains, and some blood smear positive. Blood smear will be positive in this case. Blood smear will be positive. So they ask you why relapsing, you should say due to antigenic variation. Fine. Now I want to classify this relapsing fever. Relapsing fever, relapsing fever basically of two. Okay. One is epidemic relapsing fever. Another is endemic relapsing fever. Endemic relapsing fever. Okay. Who causes epidemic relapsing fever? B. recurrentis. Who causes endemic relapsing fever? Same, but the transmitter, the transmission is different. The transmission is different. Okay. Now what happens? We think that once you have a louse, on your skin, and what you do is you do like this, isn't it? You want to hit it, isn't it? You hit it, isn't it? What happens that after crushing, once you crush it, what will happen? That's why ticks are important. It's not that you will hit a tick, you will remove a tick from someone. Okay. So that's why medicine is teaching you everything. So once you crush it or rub it, the louse, you will get the disease. You will get the disease. So louse rubbed or crushed, get the disease. Get the disease. Okay, this much you have to remember. Fine. And host is mostly human. Host is mostly human. Endemic is caused by what? It's a tick borne. Again, a tick borne. It's a tick. This was louse. This was louse. This was tick. Okay. Remember, this was louse. This was tick bite. This was tick bite. Okay. This was louse. Fine. Which of the two will cause more of a CNS manifestation? CNS and hemorrhage. It's epidemic. Epidemic causes this. More common. More common. How will you treat it? Doxycycline. Doxycycline for again. Okay. Easy. It's easy. I think it's not difficult, isn't it? Whatever we have read. Okay. So Borrelia recurrentis and this. Now I go to the next. Third. Third is what? Borrelia vincenti. Borrelia vincenti. Vincenti means it causes Vincent's angina. Please take a red color. It causes red on a red. Wow. Blue on a blue should be there. Vincent's angina. Vincent's angina. What is Vincent's angina? Vincent's angina is, please write, important topic. Vincent's angina is ulcerative gingivostomatitis, gingivostomatitis, ulcerative gingivostomatitis, ulcerative gingivostomatitis means you will see some ulcers. You will see some ulcers on the gums. You will see some ulcers on the tongue. So it causes that. Who, by the way, caused Ludwig's angina? By the way, who was causing Ludwig's angina? See, he will confuse you in the exam. There is another term, Ludwig's. Ludwig's angina was caused by pyogenes, Streptococcus pyogenes. Pyogenes causes Ludwig's angina. Pyogenes, remember that. Pyogenes was causing Ludwig's angina. Do we know that? I hope you remember that, isn't it? Ludwig's angina by pyogenes. This is caused by gingivo. This is causing ulcerative gingivostomatitis. Vincent's angina is ulcerative gingivostomatitis. Ulcerative gingivostomatitis. And mostly, the predisposing factor for this will be, I will tell you the predisposing factor. Who will predispose to this? A person with malnutrition. A person with malnutrition will have this, and a person definitely with viral infection. If a person has a viral infection, he will be predisposing to Vincent's angina. Vincent's angina. Mostly how it is happening, it is already in your oral cavity. It's already an oral commensal. It is already an oral commensal and turns into Vincent's angina. What is the treatment for this patient? It will be penicillin and metronidazole. Treatment will be penicillin and metronidazole. I hope you have enjoyed this topic. I hope this is clear. Borrelia is finished. This is, I think, the most important, some important things what you have to remember about them. And see you all in the next topic. I hope there is no doubt in it. Okay. So take care. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.